Greetings and welcome to episode 151 of Bardic Quest. Our heroes venture deeper into the ruins of Ice Spire Hold, searching for the dragon's treasure hoard and a gateway into the Shadowfell, where they seek to liberate Johann's soul. So without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. You are now passing through parts of this ancient ruin of Ice Spire Hold. You've passed by Runa. You are in the company of Silene, the red-headed member of the Stone Cold Reavers. And she leads you past the area where Runa, who was another member of the Stone Cold Reavers, keeping watch. Silene vouches for you, saying, it's fine. These guys are with me. And then she takes you out towards this solid stone bridge, which is about 35 foot long. And actually, it spans a kind of chasm almost, between two parts of the mountains, about 50 feet above the trail that you had been walking along to make your way up to the gatehouse of the Ice Spire Hold. But as you're kind of looking over, you've kind of got like 3 foot high sort of like stone railings, if you will, to stop you from falling over the edge. And you can see across from you a large door in the fortress wall, above which hangs a iron bell with a short, rusty chain dangling from it. However, as you're taking a look at this door, as you're getting closer to it, there is kind of damage to this door, such that certainly implies that at some point it has been forced open in the past. Is there anything that you would like to do as you're crossing this bridge?
Is the door open now? If it's been forced open?
The door is closed, but it is subtly swaying in the mountain wind.
Marvellus is walking forward quite gingerly, trying not to look nervous. He says, yes, the key is just to not look down. Just eyes ahead, and you'll be fine.
Do the stairs look, does the bridge look sturdy enough to take all of our weight?
Yes, it's made of stone, certainly. It doesn't look like it's crumbling. It looks to be considering how old the rest of this ruin looks to be, this bridge seems to be in good nick.
Okay. Did you have any idea how many of those ghouls came through here?
He says, I would describe it as something akin to a horde. It's
Ew.
very hard to keep track. Perhaps 20, 30,
Oh, God.
many of them, to say the least.
Yes, well, I'm better prepared than I was last time. They got lucky, is what they
Yeah,
did.
you've got clothes on this time.
Aye.
There she's smirking. It's a joke.
Marvellus,
Perhaps
are
we
you...
will keep...
Can you also make those of an unsavourly nature like the undead flee from your presence?
Not as well, only by being generally intimidating and impressive on the battlefield. I can certainly detect them, but I'm afraid getting rid of them, I have to be a little more old-fashioned than you.
I I should be able to keep them at bay, or at least most of them, if we come up against a large amount. But it won't be foolproof. It got me in, and Thorik kind of catches himself and looks a little sad. Got me and Johann out of a bind once, but
It's good to know that we have that as an option. And of course, got this. I wield Lightbringer.
oh yeah. That takes is pretty good against it was good against undead, wasn't it?
It seemed to do quite well the other day.
Right. Well, let's take our medicine.
So Eileen says, she said to you, how certain are you of a horde exactly?
Who's she saying this to?
How certain are you that, to all of you really, she says, and how certain are you that these vile creatures won't have laid claim to it?
Do they have any use for money or treasure?
I wouldn't
I
have
don't
thought
know.
they had use for books.
Books.
Long
Yes,
story.
they're it's you write down stuff and you put it in. Usually,
No, I
between
know
hardbound
I know
and-
what a book is.
Yeah,
I was-
ignore him.
Oh, sorry,
Trust
I
me.
didn't presume.
Just ignore him. He actually means well underneath all that pomp and circumstance. So, yeah, let's move on.
They took a book for their master.
Why would those things want a book?
Exactly what I said.
Well, if they're being controlled by pure evil, they're gonna go towards evil.
She opens her mouth to speak and then hesitates before just choosing clearly to keep her thoughts to herself.
We're looking for a gate to the Shadowfell. We're not experts in all of this, and if I were you, I'd probably just follow the plan, take your share, and head the other way, friend.
Well, given how quickly we had to succumb to, she looks back the way you came, injuries, she says, I don't know much more of what lies before us than perhaps you do. So, I say with caution.
So, what's your weapon of choice?
She draws out a long sword and a short sword, and she says, these two hold me in pretty good stead. And then she sheathes them both again.
Nice.
You notice as well, she actually has a pretty large crossbow on her back.
Good choice.
Shall we?
We shall get across this bridge.
She suggests that one of you lead the way as she gestures across the bridge.
Marvellus is perfectly happy to get to the other side of it, so just sort of forward and starts march striding across.
Okay, and as you do so, nothing particularly spectacular happens. The bridge holds your weight as you make your way towards this subtly door subtly swinging in the wind.
Mm.
You said you can detect the undead.
I can, yes. Let me have a little look.
I'm going to ask if you sense any now.
Lasts. I believe it lasts. Yeah. I think it lasts.
Yeah, that would be a nice heads up.
Would be a good little ping to have, wouldn't it?
I presume in the meantime, Silene has crossed the bridge here already.
I'll walk off to Silene and check that Thorik follows.
Okay, I can use it a few times. Yeah. So as I get towards the other side, I sort of approach the door, and place a hand upon the lightly swinging, and I am going to activate my divine sense. So I close my eyes and I say, Tyr, the all-seeing, all-blind, show me that which means to harm. And I can sense, only for a turn, I can sense within 60 feet of us that is not behind total cover. So I'd have to be sort of looking through,
peeking through the door,
peeking through the door, if there are any celestial fiend or undead, and the type of them, if they're within 60 feet.
And as you kind of almost listen for guidance from Tyr, kind of really trying to focus in your senses as best you can. As far as you can tell, the coast is all clear.
I turn back and go, seems fine.
Good. After you.
Open the door. I look at this bell that's above it before we go. Like, are we ringing, or are we just going in?
Something says don't ring it.
Okay.
Just my hunch. I don't get the sort of divine help you two get, but doesn't seem like a good idea.
Very well. Very well. And I will enter through the door.
So you move on through, and you find yourself in a small antechamber. There is a door in front of you, and a door to your left and to your right. Now you will have seen coming in and across the bridge that there are like battlements around the edge of this castle. The door to your left and right presumably lead out to those, which I think is fairly sensible for you to deduce straight away, given the view as you came in. Which leaves only the door before you, of course. You notice as well that the doors either side have actually got arrow slits next to them. But there is the door before you leading, so you're kind of in a little foyer, and the door before you leading deeper into the ruins here.
And this door in front of us is it intact? Is it closed?
It is slightly ajar. And actually, could I get a perception check from everybody, please?
Yes, of course. Seven.
I'm trying to remember what it is.
13.
15.
Okay. Saga and Thorik, you can each hear a very faint, almost like a humming, buzzing type sound.
Does it sound
Can you hear-
like it's coming from something organic, like a creature or something, or does it sound more like a, I don't know, mechanical or magical in nature?
I think it's probably fair to say that it sounds more natural than mechanical.
No, hear what?
Just
Nope.
Hmm.
Always am, and I stride across the room towards the slightly ajar door.
You just step right in. All right. And as you do, you come to quite a large chamber. It's about 25 foot by 30 foot. So it's significant in size. It looks to be some sort of ancient but quite dismal looking hall as part of this this fortress here. You can see that there are remains of like tapestries, or rather at least the rails upon which the tapestries hung. And you can see that there are a dozen humanoid skeletons just scattering the floor with rusty armor and debris around there as well. But the source of the buzzing sound becomes immediately evident. There are 3 tiny creatures that look almost like a mixture between a bat and a mosquito, buzzing about. So just 3 of them. And almost as soon as you open the door, Marvellus, they begin to like dive bomb straight towards you.
Yeah.
Can everybody please roll initiative?
What are they?
You can give me a nature check with advantage if you like, Thorik.
Oh, please.
Oh, in fact, actually, no, you know already, Thorik. You've encountered them before. Sturges.
Oh, is it a bloody sturge? Oh, I hate sturges so much.
I hate sturges too. Marvellus, however, has no idea what they are.
I'm guessing neither does Saga.
Marvellus is a city boy.
We found some dead
Or are
ones
these
in the mine.
wilderness kind of things? Okay. So I've seen a dead one.
Preferable
All
to
right,
a
what did people get?
I had a 13.
I also had a
13.
13.
You definitely
Okay.
have higher dexterity than me.
Okay, so we'll go Saga first. Ooh. Thorik instead first.
The guy in the doorway's going last. Just
Yeah. 13. Marvellous 13. Marv. I've just written you down as Marv. It's gonna
Hey,
that'll
Marv.
stick if I say it often enough, I think. Hey Marv.
Yeah. That is a working class plumber or something.
Or a thief that likes to steal things at Christmas.
Yes.
All right. Sorry. One moment. Okay, and then Sturges are at okay. Okay, this is pretty tight, actually. This is a tight combo here. So it's gonna go Thorik, Silene, Sturges, then Saga, then Marvellus. Okay? Thorik, you are in the antechamber near the bridge, so you're kind of near the back at this point. What would you like to do as this buzzing sound gets progressively louder?
I'd like to run towards the door that Marvellus has just gone through, and basically until I can see whatever the source of buzzing is coming from.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Which becomes pretty apparent. You recognize the sound as you get closer to being sturges. You've encountered these things before.
Yep.
So you're looking for them, and they are beelining for Marvellus.
Cool. I run towards Marvellus and just say, keep them off you, Sturges! I twist my hand and cast Sacred Flame on the closest one.
Nice. Okay, so that is a dexterity saving throw, I believe. DC 14. Okay. Oh, that's going to be a 6 against your Sacred Flame.
4.
Roll for damage as you unleash your heatless flame.
7, 4 is 11. Oh, 11. Sorry, I rolled it in. Didn't mean to roll it twice. 11 radiant damage. I was just trying to see what. Yeah, it's radiant.
That's all right.
11 radiant.
11 radiant damage. Would you like to describe how your Sacred Flame destroys the first of these Sturges?
Oh, the rings glow as he points his hand, twists it, and it literally just goes, and almost like it's entering orbit, it just starts to like and just dusts before it gets anywhere near Marvellus.
Nice. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to do?
Just kind of stay out of the way so other people can get past and just kind of shield up. Yeah, just stick with people.
Okay. Silene, being not far behind Marvellus, going next. She's going to pull out the crossbow that she had strapped to her back. And she just... You hear her mumble to herself. She says, I hate these fucking things. As she just loads it up, takes aim, and fires off a shot, which is going to be a 15 to hit, which is absolutely going to do, as she... Oh, maximum damage. Just straight out the sky as it drops. Now, with a single Sturge heading towards you, now, Marvellus. But it is indeed that Sturge's go. So it is going to fly towards you, and it is going to try and embed its very pointy... it's kind of got like a almost anteater's snout kind of thing with little spines on the end. It's going to try and embed that into you. So that is going to be... Say that again, sorry?
Is it a proboscis tongue or something?
Proboscis.
Oh, something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's going to be a 23 against your armor class, actually, Marvellus.
I mean, that's going to hit. He's found a chink.
Right on your neck.
No.
It just kind of like latches on for 4 points of piercing damage. And then it just very much latches onto your neck here. And just starts, you can almost feel it pulsating on your neck as it starts to try and drain you of blood. Saga, you're up. There is a Sturge attached to Marvellous's neck.
Get it off!
How close is Marvellus to me?
Well, you cross the bridge, so he's within 10 feet.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a step and... How big is this thing?
Tiny.
Tiny?
That size. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the size of a bat.
Bat size. Let's see what weapons I have, because kind of taking a great sword at his neck seems a bit.
Hold still, Marvellus.
Roll a natural one.
It's a consideration in her head right now. Like in a split second, she's like, "No." Right, a dagger. There we go.
Nice. All right, go for it. Roll to hit for me, then, please.
14.
Meets it, beats it.
Yes.
As you plunge your dagger
Stab it.
into the Sturge. Roll for damage for me.
That is 6 points damage.
All right. How are you finishing it?
Oh, great.
No. It's very crude, but effective. It's... And then I just pull it out, and it's still going.
Oh,
Nice. And anything you'd like to say at this point, Saga?
You okay, Marvellus? Look
Ew,
nasty.
ew, ew. It's just holding my neck and sort of staring at the thing. What foul beasts are these? Am I going to die?
no, you'll be
Buzzing
fine.
about.
Their saliva is apparently natural antibiotic and it's meant to be antibacterial and anticoagulant, so it keeps, flowing and all that jazz. But, you'll be fine.
Gotta drop the thing and stamp on it just for good measure.
It lets out a little squee
Mhm.
as you do, and there's a splat.
There. Now these things I can handle.
Yes.
Silene says, I was definitely expecting worse.
Saga listens out for more of those things.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Buzzing.
Why don't Thorik and Saga, you both give me a perception check?
17.
17.
12.
Okay. You're having a look around, having a listen around. You don't see any sign of any threats or anything. But there is something a little odd about the door at the wall at the far side of this room.
Mimic.
Odd how?
Where the stone has aged, there's a patch of it that just hasn't aged in the same sort of way. Slightly off color from the rest of the stonework.
Do you
It's
see
it's subtle.
Okay. Yeah, is it magical?
I can deduce whether it is, but it'll take 10 minutes. Why don't you shoot it with a
We
bolt?
get a little bit closer, then I think it's worth it. Oh, yeah. And she does. She shoots it with a bolt. Because that sounds
All
fun.
right. You're shooting it with what, sorry?
Crossbow.
Oh, crossbow. All right. So you load your crossbow up, fire it off, and it hits the stone wall with a bit of a twang as your bolt
Just the usual method for Thorik, where he kind of just takes his censer on the few things that escape the fire and fills it with some incense that he's replenished his stock of, and starts mumbling a few words over it. And as the coals start glowing and sort of this perfumed lavender smoke starts emitting into the room, he starts swinging it from side to side, and it starts filling the room. So within 30 feet of him, he can detect magic and its school and its source, I think. What's the particulars of it?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So whilst Thorik is preparing that, Marvellus, was there anything you wanted to do during this time?
I'll have lain hands on myself to heal the 4 points that I've lost. More to feel confident that I haven't been infected with anything than because I'm missing those 4 hit points. But I look around and I say, this was probably quite impressive and grand in its day. And I turn to Silene. Do you know what this once was?
She says, I believe it was once a stronghold of a warlord of sorts.
Oh, well, yes, I suppose. Yes, but makes sense. Yes. Look at it now. Hubris, eh?
Yes. So the legend goes, and she looks towards all of the bodies in the armor that are kind of scattered on the ground. She says, so the story goes, they all starved to death when they got snowed in.
Oh.
She says, I'm going to take a look this way. And she gestures to a door to the left as you're kind of coming in. On the kind of left-hand wall. So I'm just going to have a look out there. See if I can find this horde we're looking for.
Watch out for those stooges or whatever they're called.
Is she going by herself? Or is she
I will.
taking people with her?
She's just going over to look through the doorway. She's not leaving. She's just having a look, scouting about the surrounding area. She just pops her head in and she looks back to you and she says, there's a corridor that way, a few doors leading off.
It's not the thing that looks too new. She's not looking at that.
No, this is a yeah. Saga, obviously Thorik's also conducting his ritual here. Was there anything you wanted to do at this point?
Is there any other doors? Or just those?
Just the way you came in, and then that door that she's taken a look at here.
I'm probably going to take a few steps towards where Silene is.
Okay, yep.
Just to be like, in case something jumps out.
Sure. Okay. Thorik, after 10 minutes of preparation, the kind of incense of your sensor kind of kicks in. Your kind of vision changes a little as you're kind of looking through the smoke of the incense. And aside from the obvious things, such as the items that you're carrying and all the things that you would expect to trigger upon your own person and that of your compatriots, nothing else here seems to be giving off any magical auras.
Okay. I'll keep it going because it lasts for a little while. And Thor just says, it doesn't seem to be magical, but there's definitely something strange there when he starts to move towards it.
Be careful.
What would you like to do when you get there, Thorik?
So what am I sort of seeing being a bit closer to?
It looks to be a solid stone wall, masonry, and it looks to be in fairly good nick, in fact. It's other than the fact that it's aged a little, and therefore slightly discoloured. But there's this area kind of on floor level, extending up about 6 feet. There's this area of the wall that is a slightly lighter colour, only subtly. It's maybe 2 or 3 shades lighter than the rest of the stonework.
Thorik will...
but it looks to be a geometric shape rather than something that's a little bit chaotic.
Thorik will just gently kind of take the warhammer and just kind of do like a little tap next to it and then a tap on it. And see if there's any difference in sound.
Do you want to give me a perception check? Or if you prefer, you can go for an investigation, if you prefer. Either is fine.
5.
Notable difference.
It looks at Marvellus, just kind of after you.
May I have a look?
Please.
I Marvellus into his pack and pulls out his card set for 3 Dragon Ante, and he says, "Back in the manor, one of my forebears was very paranoid about having some sort of betrayal going along, and so always made sure that he had a way out. And we had this one little secret passage that used to go down to the kitchens that I used to go and get sweet rolls from. And as I'm saying this, I bend down, I take one of the cards, and I sort of try and, where the wall meets the floor in this section, I try and sort of see if I can fit the card in anywhere to see if there's a gap as I sort of investigate further this section of wall.
Okay. You may also either give me an investigation check, or, because of the nature in which you're doing it, I will accept a sleight of hand check if you prefer.
Ooh. Let's see.
I admire the cards of Marvellous's three.
Let's go with the flat +0 instead of a -1. I will be. Yes, I will be sleight of hand checking as I do it, and a 17.
Very nice. You managed to, with a little bit of jiggery pokery, manage to slide this under what looks as though it should be a solid stone wall. But actually you found what is essentially a crease in the wall that your card just perfectly slots into and can be moved up and down and across the bottom and the top. But there is also, about part way up, a section where you have to pull the card out a little bit and then get it back over.
I think I may have found the latch. Let's see, is there any sort of handle we could do? Or if we might be able to activate this with something a little more solid. Saga?
Yes?
Could I borrow your dagger, please?
She hands it over the non-sharp end first.
The non-pointy end.
Thank you. And he pulls out a handkerchief and he sort of cleans the handle before he puts it and puts the handkerchief.
She glares at him. Seriously?
He just sort of half looks at her, and then he places the dagger into where this latch was and tries sort of wiggles it around a bit.
As you then take this dagger then, and you give it a little jimmy, there's a really satisfying little click.
I just turn and look really smug. I'm like,
I didn't know you knew how to use thieves' tools.
And there we go. And I no, not thieves. It's sneaking down into the kitchen. It's not theft if it's your family's food.
It was a compliment.
But you're using ruffians' tools. What will your family think?
Well, between you and I think that damage has been done.
She kind of indicates to me, like, give me my dagger back.
Ah, yes. Gingerly hand it back over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thorik, anything you'd like to do at this point?
No, I've got something kind of in the back pocket for when we come up to any particularly decisions, but he's not going to use it just yet.
Marvellous, then. You have heard this click. What would you like to do?
Raising my shield, I'm going to open up or lightly push on the door and see if it now will open either way.
As you push it, it does indeed open. It is indeed a door. And it leads into a dark chamber.
Oh dear.
I cast light on my shield.
A dark chamber, a very small chamber. And you light up this chamber then, Thorik. You can see this is almost like another antechamber almost. As you're looking in, you can see that there is another similar looking door directly opposite you, leading to another room beyond.
So it looks similar to the inside of this door.
Yes.
Aha.
So you can see that across from you. There's another door of that nature leading to another chamber. To your left, as you look through this doorway, there is a staircase leading down beneath the fortress. On the ground, and indeed all the way down the stairs, is a trail of blood.
Ew,
The
leading.
trail goes between the doorway, on the other doorway, not the one you're coming from, the other one opposite you, and the stairs.
Is it fresh
So
blood?
either leads up the stairs towards the door, or from the door and down the stairs. It looks relatively fresh, yes. Doesn't look like very old blood stains, if that's what you mean.
Does it look like animal blood, or are we sort of, humanoid blood?
I need either a medicine check or a nature check, I think, from you there. But you wouldn't have to roll very high because the differences are very minimal.
Well, we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna do nature check. She's gonna taste it through her, because
Okay.
she would.
Marvellus gips a bit.
We really need to sort
ignores
that
him.
curse out, don't we, Saga?
7. I don't need it from you as well.
There is certainly, Saga, as you give it a taste, there is something rather satisfying about it for you.
What does that mean?
She tries to hide
Like-
her. And then,
It's, oh yeah. Is there any more? That kind of
God, she,
satisfaction. You know.
then she looks uncomfortable.
What was your roll? A 17, did you say?
7, just a 7.
A 7. Aside from that, other than it being slightly satisfying to the taste for you, it's blood.
Which direction is it heading in?
I can't tell if it's an animal or.
That is less clear. The trail goes from the door from which you didn't enter and down the stairs, but whether or not it's come from the door downstairs or up the stairs through the door, you're not sure.
I would like to take out. Thorik pulls out a little bag full of runestones, which he just says to his fellows, if you can spare me 11 minutes, I should be able to determine which way to go using the blood.
I'm sure we can spare 11 minutes.
Yes, in the meantime, I'll have a look at this other door. So the inside of this door, as we see it from the outside, so is it made of stone or is it imitated stone?
So the actual door itself is a wooden door,
Okay.
which has had a veneer,
Cladding.
if you will, of cladding basically on top of it, so that it is as closely matching the wall within which it was hidden. But the actual door itself is wooden.
I'm going to listen at the door and if I can hear anything on the other side of it.
Okay. Give me a perception check then, please.
Lovely. And doing my best, my very best listening, that is a 5.
You can hear nothing on the other side of that door.
Thorik starts rattling his runes really loudly.
Seem to be. That's you, right? I thought no, I don't think there is anything on the other side of here.
Anything you'd like to do whilst Thorik is preparing his ritual?
Just keep an eye out for any other enemies, shenanigans, traps,
Okay.
more of those sturges.
Okay. Why don't
Quietly
you give me a-
freak out internally.
Why don't you give me a perception check?
God. 13.
You can smell a lot of blood. It's a very strong smell, and you like it too.
Okay, that's too much. She's gonna walk away from it. Back, so she can still see them, but back away from the blood.
You okay?
Just hurry up.
I'm going to this staircase that it goes down. Is it a spiral staircase?
No, it's a straight staircase down.
Oh,
into the
okay.
darkness.
I'll get Lightbringer out, I suppose, and I will that casts light as though it's a torch. So I shall sort of like lean it as far without going down the stairs myself. Hold it in front of me and see if I can see how far down these staircase goes.
Okay. It descends about 20 feet.
Oh, yeah, so I don't see beyond that.
Yeah.
So I don't see the bottom of it. I just see that it just goes at least 20 feet down.
Yes.
Right, great.
Thorik, after a few minutes, your ritual is ready. What ritual are you casting here?
I am ritual casting the spell Augury by...
I thought you might.
I upturn my shield so it creates a basin sort of illuminating with light. So he's kind of, all his rings and his kind of luminescent tattoos, like war paint that he's inscribed on himself, is all glowing with this light. And he starts muttering words over the runes as he intones a course of action to Berinar True Silver, and he rolls the runes. So, mechanically speaking, by casting gem-inlaid sticks, rolling dragon bones, laying out ornate cards, or employ some other divining tool, you receive an omen from an otherworldly entity about the results of a specific course of action that you plan to take within the next 30 minutes. The DM chooses from the following possible omens: weal for good results, woe for bad results, weal and woe for good and bad results, and nothing for results that aren't especially good or bad. It doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or the loss or gain of a companion. If you cast the spell 2 or more times before completing your next long rest, there is a cumulative 25% chance for each casting after the first that you get a random reading. The DM makes this roll in secret. So yes, I am going to intone to Berinar.
Okay.
If we follow the path down, he's making that very clear, because basically whichever way, it should give him the result he wants. If we go down, will we find the door, our goal? He's just trying to put it in as simple words as possible.
Your pebbles you had, or?
Yeah, runestones,
Like,
so kind of inscribed with a...
What was it
with
you
a
were using
rune.
Runestone.
They're kind of
that
like
was it.
they're kind of like black sort of...
So as you...
kind of shot through of silver ore, like it's sort of untreated ore stones that have been inscribed with runes.
Nice. So as you scatter those, they give you a reading of weal.
Down it is, my friends.
Well, what does it say?
Wheel. Wheel. Scoops up the stones, puts them in a bag, and points down.
Oh, and quite sure, are you?
Aye.
Yes, all right. Very well.
Seeing as Marvellus has a Lightbringer ignited,
What are you doing?
Thorik will take a copper piece, cast light, and just let it fall down the stairs.
Okay. And it descends about 30 feet, opens up into what looks to be some sort of chamber at the bottom.
Well,
Dean speaks up suddenly, and she says, "Forgive me, but no dragon is getting down there. If we're looking for a horde, we won't find it down there."
How can he be so sure? Someone might have moved it.
Who would move it?
You never know.
If you're concerned...
Up to you if you join us.
I can roll the runes again for the Horde, and we can We can take a small diversion to try and find the Horde, if that's your preference.
I believe that that is what we came here for. Me and my men have made sacrifices for the promise of wealth, and we had an accord. I think it would only be appropriate that we locate this Horde before whatever else you want to do is achieved. Don't you think?
We did say that, didn't we?
In Dwarvish, Thorik says to Saga, I see no reason why we can't spare a while longer to honor our end of the bargain. We might find something useful.
I turn to Silene and I say, "It's a rugged language, isn't it?"
I've got no idea what they've just said, but yeah.
It's Dwarvish. You know, used a lot in merchant towns. I'm surprised you don't know it, Marvellus.
I don't tend to do too much of my own shopping.
Oh, yes, and, you know, books are scary. Come on, then.
Will, we were just saying that we should honor our pact with you. Lead on. In Dwarvish again, Thorik says under his breath, just watch this one.
She responds in, it's probably correct, but with a very weird accent, Dwarvish, going, I agree. I don't get a good feeling about her. Also, you need to get rid of this curse of mine soon. Really soon.
Say the word, and it's done. Anytime. I have it prepared.
Let's find this Horde. Let's find this Horde, and then after that.
Choice. You should have days, though. Well, you should have weeks, I think.
The blood.
I see.
Yeah. I can't lose control.
You tell me when it's done.
Then she turns back to Silene. After you.
As you wish. She loads her crossbow again, pulls it back, and she moves across, so ignoring the staircase to the left and just heading across, following that blood trail out of the door, greater, not depth, but greater complex of the fortress, in search of this Horde that has been promised to her. Hey there, questers. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and YouTube members. Your support really helps to keep this channel going strong. So I wanted to give a special shout out to each and every one of you, our incredible patrons and YouTube members, who are Woodstrapper, Simon Jelly, Martin C, Gallus, Gary Lloyd, James Hamilton, J.R. Bellaston, Robert Treadwell, Jason Udall, Jason Bradwell, Nigel Raggett, Rebecca Hill, Giles McGee, and Caesars. Honestly, your support truly makes a huge difference, and we appreciate you more than we can express. And to those of you who haven't yet joined, I would invite you to consider becoming a patron or YouTube member. Not only will you unlock fantastic benefits, including early access to videos, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and access to our Discord channel, but you'll also be directly contributing to the growth and success of this channel. But to everybody, thank you again for all of your support and helping us to tell these incredible adventures together.